It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Love ain't the same on the south side of town. You could look, but you ain't gonna find it around. It's the same old story, same old song and dance, my friend. It's the same old story, same old story, same old song and dance.
Welcome back to Declare Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedom's Phoenix at the farm. But we're getting ready for the end, man. I mean, I've been hearing all this, everything's going to happen, this is going to be worldwide, and it's going to get bad, and we all got to survive and everything. And, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I went through Y2K. I went through all kinds of, the Clinton administration, and it was the Bush administration, it was 9/11, it was war, and I'm like, yeah. You know what? And now it's time. Here we freaking go. What the heck have you been waiting for? All of a sudden, silver goes over $40, probably to stay, or it's not going to go a whole lot lower. And if it does, you know what that means? Buy some more. Same thing with gold. I'm telling you, man, here we go. Now, the thing is that we have activists like Husain Abdulla that's representing the interest of Bahrain, but he's in Washington, D.C. And I guarantee you, there are guys in the street there going, what the hell is going on? No matter what happens, calm it down. Syria, we're going to lift martial law. We're going to be nicer this time. They don't care. Nope, done. You have the military takes over in Egypt. Mubarak's gone. You want Mubarak gone? Mubarak's gone. Now what? The State Department of the United States want to meet with the dissidents there. Oh, yeah, we'll meet with you. We want to meet with you. No, and guess what? This guy right here, he's your guy. They go, no, not our guy. Whoever the lamestream media, the media that's so last century, the United States State Department, anybody comes and say, here's your savior. This guy right here, here's his face. Here you any purdy, got a shiny tie, a nice complexion, and a beautiful wife. Whoever they say is it, that ain't it. That person is not it. Well, I'm telling you, man, I feel it. Here's the pain. And we're going to talk about, because I know Hussein is, it's kind of difficult. You're, sitting there walking tightropes in Washington, D.C., meeting with congressmen and so on. But I'm saying you can talk about the third rail, Israel. Well, is that the only one? And if it wasn't them, it'd be somebody else. It's all about the control of, you got a big giant suitcase of missiles. You got a suitcase of aircraft carriers and power and everything. Guess what? There's somebody going to want to get a hold of that handle of that suitcase. Now, Hussein, I'm telling you, man, we want solutions. Your people are going to either die or they are going to be held in slavery. And I'm like, the solution is what? You have been meeting with congressmen, and they're like, I don't want to think about that. I'll think about that tomorrow. If I think about the day, I'll go crazy. I'll think about that tomorrow. So I'm going, why? And the policies that they're going to be spending money in Libya, they're going to be asking for billions of dollars and more missiles and ground troops. United Kingdom is already going in with special forces. And I'm saying, you know what? We don't have the money, and they're going to do it anyway. Heck, we got into that war. I don't know how the heck we got it. All of a sudden, we woke up in the morning, CNN, guess what? We're at war in Libya. And I'm going, what? So you got to help me out here. There's a solution. There is a cause of this, and there is a solution to this. What is it? Get down to it. You're talking to a congressman, and you're pounding on the desk, and you're saying what to convince them?
Well, look, it is naive not to think that the Jewish American community has an influence on the Congress, has a great lobbying arm, and that is not a secret. But the issue is not, the safety of Israel or the peace of Israel cannot be preserved by keeping these dictators who oppress their people. It's by basically promoting and advocating for democracy in these regions, because guess what? Democracies don't go to fight with each other. They don't go to war. You cannot find two countries that both of them were democratic and went to war. So one thing that the Israelis and the American Jewish community has to understand, that opposing democracy in Bahrain or somewhere else is not going to advance security in Israel. It's actually going to create more terrorism. It's going to create more radicals who basically going to say that the only way we can get our rights is by fighting, by blood, by killing others, and that is not in the safety of Israel. So it is known that the state of Israel supports the government of Bahrain, and the reason for that because they think of them or they think of the leaders of that country as an ally or as in someone who will serve the interests of Israel in the best way. And I think they're wrong. I don't think that's right.
No, that's their thought process. And to think that democracies always get along, really. Let's look in the 50s and 53 when we took out democratically elected leader of Iran. You know, it's not about whether you're a democracy or not. It's about whether you're their democracy or not, whether you're in their banking system, whether you're following their rules. Has absolutely nothing to do with democracy. We have so many dictators and monarchs and, you know, tyrannical leaders around the world that the State Department is supporting with our military and our CIA and Congress and flooding money and bribery to them and everything. To keep screaming this democracy thing is just to make me want to pull my hair out. It has nothing to do with it. It's who is under our control. And they'll use democracy as an excuse to go in there and it's easier to keep your guy in charge with a floppy disk, you know, corrupting a computer election or whatever than it is with an M1 Abrams tank. That's all that's about. Listen, we got to get democracy in Iraq. Why? Because it's easier to say what they want, that they wanted, and we'll use the military to support it because they got an election that says we're going to put in scumbag number 15. I'm telling you, Husain, this is the third time that you and I have visited with each other, and it's only getting worse. It is not going to get better. And your goal in Washington is to what? You're advocating for what? That we're going to have elections? You're going to vote? You're going to let the people get a purple finger? I mean, is that your solution? Seriously?
No, I'm advocating first for this killing to stop. The torture has to stop. This killing has to stop. Arresting people in the middle of the night and attacking their home has to stop. You know, these are simple things. You don't need to be changing regimes to stop all these things. You know, these are simple values of human beings. That's the first thing I'm advocating for. Second thing is self-determination. Let the people determine what kind of rule they want.
You know, I let them determine that they don't want any government at all. You know, how about that? I vote none. There's none on the table. It's never on the table. There's always some new livestock management tool they're going to use. It's going to be a constitutional republic. It's going to be a Soviet-style socialist communist de la, we rule you, fill in the blank. And they never put up there, how about none? How about, Coca-Cola gets to be, the chairman of the board rule us or something? What's the difference? So it's so obvious to me that they go one after another. And then because of the internet, it's happening faster and it's more open to everybody to see what's really happening. It's about control. Because if you're not in control, you're out of control. And they don't want you out of control. And Bahrain is a perfect example because it's a small country. It's only like 1.2 million people or something. It's, I don't know how many times, 10 times the size of Manhattan. I mean, it's not that big, is it?
It's a small country, 3.5 times Washington, D.C.
So 3.5 times the size of Washington, D.C. So that's like, what is that, 30 square miles or something? I mean, it's not very big, all right? So I'm going, all right. Where else are we going to get a perfect example of U.S. foreign policy where it really counts, where you have a military base that is by far the most influential and dominating figure on that island? I don't care who they say is in charge. You got the Fifth Fleet right there. It's off the course of Saudi Arabia. You have Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates bringing in armed troops and police that are killing people there. How's the Saudi government responding to this now in light of what's the resurrection of revolts right now? What's going on with Saudi Arabia?
Well, Saudi Arabia has invaded Bahrain. They're basically occupiers of the country. They are participating in killing of the people. They're participating in torturing people, arresting people. The revolution in Bahrain was one step from being successful, except for the Saudi forces. When they got in the country, things got worse. Things became dramatically worse, where so many more people lost their lives than the beginning of the revolution or the beginning of the uprising. You see, Saudi Arabia does not want free and democratic Bahrain because they will be in line. Their throne will be next on the line.
Okay.
These GCC countries.
But when we come back, we'll go ahead and talk about, what each country in the Middle East and the role that they're playing on this. We'll be right back in just a little bit.